guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan, also known as Megs, and today I just kind of wanted to make hopefully an informative video about cradle cap in newborns and babies, and also kind of talk about how Winona's doing, how the cradle cap has been, what it was like before and what it's like now. What is cradle cap? It is like a scaly, oily skin condition that's really common in newborns, and it is typically on their scalp. It kind of looks like dry skin, but it is pretty much just built up oil. Sebum is the name of that lovely natural oil that we humans create, and sometimes babies just have a little bit too much buildup, and the cause isn't exactly known for sure. What it could be is hormones that us mommies pass down to our babies before they were born, or through breast milk. And I breastfeed. Winona didn't have cradle cap when she was born. It took a few months to even become a thing with her, so I believe it was passed down through breast milk in our case. So basically, those hormones create a buildup of too much of that sebum oil in the oil glands and hair follicles. So when that oil sebum is present, dead skin cells that should shed off naturally get caught into the oil basically, and it results in that clumping and scaly look. Don't be alarmed, it's not contagious and it's not caused by poor hygiene. You could be giving your babies the right amount of baths, but you don't want to do it every day, maybe around 2 times a week, or really just as needed. For the most part, our babies aren't covered in, well, I guess they could be covered in crap, but they're not super dirty. At least I don't think so. When they're newborns and young like Winona is, they're not super into things yet, but they drip milk and spit up into their neck area and on their face, and they do start to touch things, and maybe they do have blowouts. So it's up to you, but don't feel like it's your fault if your baby does have cradle cap, because it is very common, and I didn't see it coming with Winona. She was born with lovely, thick, luscious, beautiful hair, and it started falling out, and that's how I noticed the cradle cap. It probably was under there. It's not a severe case, it just, her hair is weak baby hair, and she wasn't scratching at it too much. She is using her hands more, and she does pull her hair, but not always necessarily where it fell out. It just happened to, and that does happen. The doctor told us not to be alarmed. Google kind of made me alarmed about it. I read a lot of different things that made me feel like it was a severe case before I talked to the doctor, and some articles made me feel like she was okay and some didn't. So I felt like making this video could be of use to new mommies and mommies who are dealing with this for the first time or just don't know what it is. So I do hope this helps. There is a theory that it could be caused by a yeast imbalance or fungal infection. I asked the doctor about that, and he was like, no, this is Cradle Cap. It happens. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna go away in a few weeks and her hair will grow back. And it won't take years. It may take a couple months or a few months, but her beautiful hair will be back. So I'm rest assured, and I do see it clearing up. The symptoms, this is what you need to look out for. Like I said, scales on the scalp. It could look crusty. It could just look different with different babies. If you look it up on Google, like, it just looks different on different babies' heads. And Winona's didn't look bad, so I wasn't like too worried until the hair loss kept happening. It seems like it has stopped, but when I look at pictures, I'm just like, wow, her hair was so thick, and now it looks like a pretty regular amount of hair, but for what she was born with, it's a dramatic change for me. But she didn't have like super yellow crust. It just looked really dry to me, and then I noticed the scaly look that people describe it as. It may have rashes. You may notice the oily skin to the touch. I don't think it really looks oily. It just may feel oily. They may have white scales, yellow scales, some severe, some not so severe. It's not as gross as it sounds, if you ask me, from our experience. Some redness may occur. You may notice dandruff. You may notice hair loss. If they are losing hair, you will definitely notice, like I did. That was the red flag for me, and that's when I was like, we need to see her doctor. I tried to get in earlier, but we, for one, wanted to see her doctor, but if we had to, we would have gone with someone else, but there was trouble trying to schedule something as soon as I wanted it, and her appointment was around the corner, so that was fine. We figured it out eventually, not too long before we did. Some mild to severe cases may have a distinct cradle cap smell. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that smells like, but I did notice a little bit of a funky smell after the first day that I put coconut oil on, and I think it was just the coconut oil. I don't like the brand that I used the first time, so I used a different one after that, and it never made that smell again. So I don't know if that was the oily, distinctive cradle cap smell or if it was the coconut oil. But it is described as a slightly oily scent, so. And another thing that you shouldn't worry too much about is it bothering my baby? Does it itch? Does it hurt? It does not itch. It is not eczema. It should not bother them. And I've read that a lot, and I was like, I don't know, like, it looks like it would bother me, it would bother her, but the doctor again reassured me that it's not bothering her, and it doesn't seem like it is. So I can tell you that it's not bothersome in that way. If anything, it's bothering you more than her, if her or him at all. It's bothering us because we don't want to see our babies going through that. And if you're like me and your baby had a lot of hair, you're like, no, not the hair. But they're okay, and it will clear up. And if you're not sure how to tell, like you're thinking, my baby has eczema. Eczema is more dry and tender, whereas Cradle Cap is more oily and rough. When should you contact your baby's doctor? Obviously, if you have any concerns, it's better to be safe than sorry with anything. Cradle Cap is usually self-diagnosable and self-treatable. It should be pretty easy to notice the signs, but if you're not sure what that is, or you're just like, it seems really bad, but if you tried treating it at home and there is little to no success, or you think it's getting worse, go ahead and contact them. If the patches start to spread to your baby's face or body, that is something you want to talk to their doctor about. Winona's didn't spread even far on her head. It didn't take over her whole head. It kind of started on just like one side, which is where most of the hair loss happened, and it didn't go completely bald. There's still hair, it's just not the same, but it started there, and then it started a little bit on this side, and I started doing the coconut oil treatments, and they started clearing up there, and now there's just a little bit left in the middle, and none of the hair fell out there. A little bit fell out here. She still has some bangs and she still has hair in the middle, but I can definitely see it clearing up. It didn't touch her face. I'm not seeing anything anywhere else. There's none in the back or the sides. How to get rid of Cradle Cap or help it go away. The best thing you can do is always make sure you're using baby products only. Tear-free baby shampoos are best, and baby moisturizers. Using oils like baby oil, obviously, or coconut oil, to me that's like a natural baby oil. Mineral oil, petroleum jelly, those are things I've read you can use. I don't think it's recommended that you use like essential oils and tree oil. So it's not like you really can use anything, but there are options, and like I said, your doctor can tell you what he thinks or she thinks is best. Our doctor is a male. You can ask your doctor what they think will work best on the baby's scalp. For us, he told us just use some baby oil, and we said we've been using coconut oil. I was gonna be like, is that okay? But before I even got to that, he was like, great, that works great. Keep doing what you're doing. So you just take a little bit in your hand, not too much, because if you put too much oil and you don't wash it all the way out, it can actually make it worse because it is there because of too much oil. But the reason you want to use oil is to loosen up the skin and the scales that are built up, you know, the dead skin cells that I was talking about. And you want to like brush them out with a soft baby brush. Don't use anything else to try to brush it out. Do not scrape it out. Do not pick it. That will make it worse. You only want to use a small baby brush. I can show you what one of those look like in case you don't know, but if you're a parent, I'm sure you do. So here is the soft baby brush. It has super soft bristles, you see. I have two just like this, and I also have a small one. This one is brand new. She has not touched it. We use the same one when we have the oil in there and we start to brush it out. We only use that one when brushing the oil out, and then after we give her a bath and we really rinse it. Don't scrub her hair hard, just really rinse it off with the water and make sure that oil is out. Then we go in with a different brush that looks like this one. Still the soft one, but it's literally the same exact one as this. And we use that after her baths. just because the one that we start with and we comb the oil through and try to remove the scales, it's really hard to get that oil out. It just stays oily. So I don't want to brush more oil into her hair. I just don't feel right using it after it's had all the skin and stuff on it. It sounds nasty, but it's not that nasty. What's nasty is when you get a sunburn and your skin peels, okay? This is not as bad as something like that, or some of the things that we adults have to deal with, okay? This is just your baby's head going through some changes, releasing some things, and it'll be over, okay? So you take that little bit, like I was saying, and you put it just on the affected areas. And Winona's hair soaks it up really well, so I try to comb it out the way and get it on those specific areas that are affected. I wait about 20 minutes, and then either before we get in the bath or during the bath, I just nicely comb through, brush through, and it really loosens it up, and you can see some of it coming out. Now, it's not going to take it all away right away. It's not going to be perfect, but through time, it will get better and better, and you can do it every day. We haven't been able to do it every day because we just went camping, but it was clearing up while we were camping and we didn't do the treatment. But I can tell after each treatment and bath, it's looking better and better. You can use your humidifiers for your baby because the moisture in the air will help it heal. You just don't want it to be too dry or too oily with anything on your baby's scalp. So use those oils to loosen it up, comb it through, turn the humidifier on, give them daily baths if you can, or often ones with baby safe products. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could use like just a simple toothbrush, one that has similar bristles. I really want to like focus in on this, but it's not letting me. So right now my camera isn't focusing in on it too well, but each little clump has multiple bristles, kind of like a toothbrush, and it may not be as easy with a toothbrush, but it'll do the job if it's a simple one like so. In severe cases, their doctor can prescribe a medicated shampoo or like a medicated cream or whatever to put on there. I thought that was what was going to happen with Winona. I thought for sure that's what we needed because I didn't feel like the coconut oil treatments were working in the beginning, but that's because I was expecting a change right away. And it wasn't overnight, but it did start clearing up pretty fast, especially after we saw the doctor. So I kind of was pushing for that with him, but he said that it was looking great and that it would be gone soon, and as long as we keep doing what we're doing, it's going to be okay. We have a few different tear-free shampoos. That's all we use, the baby ones with her, and they seem to be helping it. It's not getting worse. We never use any adult products, whether it's lotion, the shampoo, the soap, anything like that. And what I have found to help after the bath, because a lot of the scales are like loosened up but weren't ready to come out, or I just want to put something on there so bad, and I have been putting like a baby lotion, and I'm not using the Johnson ones that came with her soap and shampoo. because I noticed like she had a little bit coming through the hair. Like that was the first patch that I noticed, and I was putting lotion on that every day thinking it was dry skin, and it wasn't helping until I used this product. This is what I have been putting on the areas where there's a little bit of hair loss. We've been keeping it out of the sun as much as possible. Even when we went camping, we kept her in the shade a lot. We used sun hats and whatnot, but I wanted to keep it a little moisturized, and I didn't want to leave oil on or do anything wrong and make it worse. So we do use the Johnson lotions on when she gets out the bath. I always put lotion on because when she was a newborn, she did have dry skin in certain areas, and it cleared up like that, and I just always put the lotion on. I especially like the nighttime lavender products that we have, the soap, shampoo, and lotion that all come together. We have the daytime and the nighttime one. I love the nighttime one. It smells so good, and she never has dry skin anywhere on her body. But this is what I put on those little areas on her head. It's Aveeno Baby. I love Aveeno. It says it is pediatrician recommended. It's the lavender and vanilla scented one. Love it. Calming Comfort Lotion with natural colloidal, I think that's how you say it, oatmeal and dimethicone. Don't test me on it. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but it's skin protectant, paraben free. It's free of all the harmful, harsh things. Moisturizes for 24 hours, and it helps calm babies before bedtime. I love these kind of things. But yeah, this one just has been helping a lot. So if you want to apply a baby moisturizer after the bath, that may help. And it may sound like it's a lot of work, but it's really not. If you know your baby's not dirty, but you want to wash the hair, just wash the hair. It's quick and easy to put in some oil, leave it in for a little bit, 20 minutes, wash the hair out. Just really make sure you get the oil out. That's the hardest part. And then dry the hair if your baby has hair, and comb it and put some moisturizer. It's not as crazy as a process as it may seem. It's super easy and it really helps. Typically, this condition does clear up on its own within a few months or a few weeks. In some cases, it may be up to your baby's first birthday, but really it should go away sooner than that. And if you do these treatments and you try to help it clear up, it should just take a few weeks to a few months. And with us, it seemed like there were a little bit of signs before we noticed it, so I'm not exactly sure how long it was there, because like I said, the first thing I noticed was like this little tiny patch peeking through like the widow's peak area or whatever. And then when the hair loss happened is when we really noticed it, and it wasn't that bad. Like, it looked like it had just started, and then when I did the coconut oil, at first it started to get a little bit more noticeable, and I was like, oh my god, that's when I was freaking out. Am I doing something wrong? Did I leave the coconut oil in? I tried my best to get it out. I'm actually getting the hang of really getting it out now without scrubbing and, you know, damaging it anymore. By the time we saw her doctor, I asked him how long it would clear up, and he said about 4 weeks. I'm assuming that is what typically happens. I don't want to say normal because every baby is different, and I want to say the first signs I noticed of it were 2 weeks before her appointment, and it's been at least a week now, and it is starting to clear up. I don't know if he meant 4 weeks from when we saw him or what, but I can see that it is going away. I want to show you guys Winona now. Don't freak out. It's not anything to be scared of, especially because it's clearing up, but it really wasn't ever bad in the beginning. Just the hair loss is what freaked me out a little bit, but like when people have seen it, they're like, oh, it's not even that bad, and it's not as bad as I've seen in other babies. It's really just the hair loss that worried me. So you're gonna see firsthand what that looks like, and you may not even be able to see the cradle cap itself because it is doing so well at clearing up. She did have a bath today, she did have treatment today. It is now past midnight, and I usually have been doing my videos really late because she is asleep and it's not for a short period of time anymore, so nighttime is good for me. But I think tomorrow at some point is when I will get that clip for you guys, and I will be putting it in here. You in a good mood? So Winona just woke up. She has not had, well, she just woke up from a nap, and she has not had a bath today. It is almost evening time. Ah, Bubba's. So here is, if she'll let me show you her scalp. And you can see some of the hair loss, but you can also see that it's not completely bald, and she already has hair coming in on top of that. You telling them? So it started on this side, and it's totally cleared up there. She has a little red eye because I just was getting an eye boogie out after her nap. And then it was over here a little bit. Yeah, and the hair loss isn't too bad there. And now it even cleared up in the front. Mama? It's hard to see, but she has a little bit left. When we showed him, just a little bit left underneath this middle layer of hair. But it's almost gone. Yes, it is. It is clearing up, baby girl. And that's the only areas that she has hair loss, really. Her hair's a mess right now, but still got a lot of hair in the back and around the sides. It's also lightening up quite a bit, which is what happened with Mommy and Daddy when they were babies. Came out with pitch black hair, and it lightens up, and it goes blonde, and then it goes brown. Yes. So we're very happy to say that it is almost taken care of. Huh? Are you happy too? Show everybody your favorite giraffe. Giraffe? That's my girl. So I have just a little bit of coconut oil on my hands. We don't need too much. You never really need too much. You don't want to make it too oily, like I've said. And right now we really don't need too much because it's clearing up. So I'm just going to rub this into that little bit that's left on the middle of her scalp. Okay, let that soak and we'll be back to brush it through. So I fed her after I applied this and was planning on letting it sit for about 20 minutes, and she took a mini nap, so her hair is a little bit messy. But we're just simply combing through, and usually when there's more of that scaly, dry looking skin, you will see skin come up with it, but hers is almost gone, so I'm not expecting much of a reveal like that. Hold on. You're so good. You're in a good mood now because you ate it and you napped. Huh. And that's all you gotta do, just on the affected areas. If there's parts of their head that don't have it, like hers for example, like I said, she never had it around the sides or the back or anything, it was always the top, and now the other spots, it's gone. You don't need to apply the oil everywhere because it is hard to get out. So just apply it where it's needed and comb it through where it's needed. And so today this is good enough. Her bath is ready. We're going to rinse this out and wash her up, and then I will show you what's happening afterwards. Oh, so beautiful. Bless you. So I'm here with our moisturizer and our handy dandy brush. The one I was talking about that I use after the baths, not the ones that I comb the oil through, because that one stays oily. This one is dry. So, you want to bring her over here? Now that she doesn't have a ton of hair, it kind of dries fast as soon as we dry her off. So, it's pretty simple to brush through. Excuse you. Okay, and then just take a little bit. Whoops, that was more than I wanted.
What?
So I won't put all of this because I got a little more than I wanted since I was using one hand to grab the lotion.
No, it's all in there. Give me it.
Just the affected area as usual.
Oh, wait, your chalk?
Okay, I got a lot of lotion on me. And then I brush that through. And honestly, after this bath we just did, it's pretty much gone, guys. Like, wow, that is amazing. We're saying bye to Cradle Cap and hello to new hair growth. So the best things you can really do is the oil treatments, cleaning the hair. Or the head. It is not because you were dirty or not giving your baby enough baths. It just helps now to wash that out more and loosen the scales and let them come out without picking and scraping. So do that, use a humidifier, and even take vitamin B. Yeah, vitamin B if you're breastfeeding. That helps. I've also read that some moms have said putting their breast milk on the affected areas has helped it clear up. I haven't tried that personally, but I believe it could help because there were times when she was a newborn and I had a really hard time clipping her nails. I still do, but I'm better at it now and I keep up on it. And it's not that I didn't keep up on it, but the second time I clipped her nails, she flinched and it clipped her skin a little bit. And I've been I was already cautious, but I've been very careful ever since then. And after that incident, there was a time where I just was scared to do it, so they were not super long, but long enough to scratch her. And babies scratch themselves. That's normal. But she had a scratch near her eye, and her eye was red, and I was like, oh my god, does she have pink eye? But it wasn't pink inside, and it wasn't pink eye, it was just, she scratched like all the way down, like part of her waterline and up here, and I read to put breast milk on it, your breast milk. So I put my breast milk on that area just a couple times, and it was cleared up. She looked great. So I do believe that that golden liquid that we naturally make works wonders. So I'm sure it could help that. It didn't get bad enough to where I was like, I need to try everything. The coconut oil and the moisturizer and the baths and everything were enough. So awesome. Make sure you don't just put anything on there. It has to be baby safe stuff. So now you have seen what Winona is looking like now, how she's doing. It has probably been the 4 weeks now, like I was saying, and it is going away, and really happy about it. It never seemed to bother her. It just bothered me mostly. I'll admit that I cried when her hair started falling out, but she still is the cutest little baby. She has the cutest face. She's beautiful with or without it, and it will grow back soon. I am thankful that Winona didn't have a severe case, that it's getting better. If your baby is struggling with this, I feel you, and there really is nothing to worry about. There's so many other things that babies have to deal with, and this just is an appearance thing, really. It's not painful, bothersome, itchy, or anything. It just is kind of there, and it goes away. It's not there forever. Don't stress, don't sweat. It's gonna be alright. Hopefully by the next time I make a video with her, it really won't be there, and as time goes on, her hair will come back, and it's awesome, right? So thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something from this. I hope that it can help people who are struggling with this or just need someone to talk about their own experiences along with what the freaking heck this is, because I feel like that's what I needed, and eventually I got it from the doctor. But I wish that someone on the internet would have been like, Megan, it's fine, calm down, she's okay, it's gonna get better before you know it. I really needed to hear that. So if you needed to hear that, I really hope this helped. I hope you took in everything I said, and I hope all your babies are doing great. Give them loves for me. I want to give my baby loves right now, but she's asleep, and as soon as those eyes open up, I'm loving on her. So much love to give, so much love for you guys. Thank you for watching, for being awesome, for supporting me. Please subscribe, comment, and like if you would like to. I would love that. I hope you have a great night, a great day, a lovely week. Mwah. See you next time.